How's everyone doing? Hope you're good. Wasn't planning on being here today, but here I am. Jenny says hi. How you doing, Jenny? Hope you are good. Not on mute. Harry says, come on, England. Barry Allen, the Flash, says, yo. Hope you're good, Barry. Mana Frog says, Diaz deal almost done. It is almost done. About 65 million pounds, I think. I'll see if I can find it. Let me see if I can fix this. Yeah, this one, yeah. Bayern Munich reached total agreement with Liverpool to sign Luis Diaz. Deal for 28-year-old winger, 75 million euros, and permission granted to travel for medical. So pretty much basically pretty much doubling our money. Proposed 4 + 1 year contract. Now 190 million sales since Hughes became Liverpool sporting director. I think that's probably a good deal. I think that's probably a good deal, kind of all things considered. Because if you think about it, from a Liverpool perspective, they're doubling their money. So it's good from a Liverpool perspective. From a Bayern perspective, they're getting a player that they need. So it's also good from a Bayern perspective. And from a Diaz perspective, it's pretty good as well. Because Diaz is getting that big contract. So this is probably Diaz's last big contract in football, and he's getting that. So this is a deal that kind of makes sense for everyone. So that's pretty good to see. Netta says hi. How are you, Netta? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Diamond says Fabrizio. Here we go. Yeah, we've got. I'll see if I can bring that one up as well. So we've got David Ornstein here, basically saying it. Let me see if I can bring up the Fabrizio tweet. You are correct. So Fabrizio is saying FC Bayern reach full agreement to sign Luis Diaz from Liverpool. Here we go. 75 million euro package, which is about 65 million pounds, which I think that's a good price. I think that's a good price, kind of everything considered. Has he got white hair? That can't be real. But anyway, I think that's a good deal, kind of everything considered. We're basically doubling our money. Do you wear football shirts every day, pal? Only for the streams. I did a few streams where I did not wear a football shirt, and then people were not very happy about that, and they said you need to do that all the time. So now I've set expectations that are going to be very difficult for me to kind of keep up. But yeah, generally just for the streams. It comes off after the stream. But yeah, all things considered, I think this deal kind of makes sense for everyone. Mark says, Isak coming ... Well, that's the rumor. The rumor is the kind of Diaz sale, 65 million pounds. That's approximately kind of half the Isak fee. If you see this one here, it's by Craig Hope, Daily Mail. Don't know how reliable this guy is, but it says sources on Merseyside say the Luis Diaz sale is likely to formalise Liverpool's offer for Alexander Isak. Newcastle expecting a official approach. So I think watch this space over the next few days. Fish says who? Fish is cleaning his room. Good to hear. I hope that goes well. Isak's forcing an exit, apparently. Harry says, hello, how are you? Yeah, not too bad, man, not too bad. Pretty good. Pretty good for a Sunday. How are you? All those English players are... What does that emoji mean? Stressed? What's the emoji? Fish is very happy that Harry is here. I'm not... I'm not sure the opposite is true. Oh god, they've kicked off. Fish says, how do you think of Owen Beck to Derby? It probably makes sense because he's a left back, isn't he? And there appears to be a surplus of left backs in the team. You got Kirkes, you got Robertson, you got Tsimikas. We don't really need a fourth left back. I'd argue we don't really need a third. So yeah, I think it kind of makes sense, to be fair. Because with two senior left backs, he probably wasn't going to get much game time. With three senior left backs, he definitely wasn't getting any game time. So it's probably good for him. Oh, right, you meant hot. Fair enough. Tom says Isak incoming. It's starting to look like that. It's starting to look like that. This is another kind of... So it's 75 million euros. So that's about 65 million pounds recouped. And there was a story. There's a story somewhere here. I'll see if I can bring it back up. There's this one here that says sources on Merseyside say Luis Diaz's sale is likely to formalise Liverpool's offer. So there could be movement. There could be movement in the next few days. Callum LFC says, just like that, the real slot era begins. I think you're right. It'll be interesting to kind of see how the tactics change and how the style of play changes. Ooh, England might score. Ooh, I thought England was going to score there. Because kind of last season, it felt like more of a kind of evolution of the Klopp style of playing. Not that that's a bad thing, because it wasn't, because they did win the league after all. But I guess you can certainly make the argument that now that he's bringing his own players in, as kind of Callum has said there, the real slot era begins. So it'll be interesting to see how things change from a tactical perspective. I mean, the fullbacks have already changed, which should be kind of quite different from last season. Kirkes reminds me of kind of Robertson from a few years ago, whereas Frimpong isn't like Trent at all. He's a bit more like Robertson. So it'll be interesting to see how the fullbacks do. Fish says, how good was Shaqiri and Peter Gulaski? Shaqiri was really good. It was really good to have a player on the bench who you felt could make a difference when he came on, if that makes sense. Quite often you have kind of good starting players and then the one on the bench is, who cares? But with Shaqiri, you always had confidence that he could do something, and quite often he did. I think he scored 2 goals against Man United to get Jose Mourinho fired. That was funny. He also started the Barcelona game, the 4-0 comeback, And I think he got the cross for the Wijnaldum goal as well. So Shaqiri was great. I was a bit disappointed when he left. Galaxy, I didn't think I don't feel like he got much of a chance in goal, but he seems to be doing well after leaving. NHLFC says going to miss Diaz if he leaves, as he probably will, from what I've seen. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty much confirmed now that he's gonna go. If you see this one here, Bayern Munich have reached total agreement with Liverpool to sign Luis Diaz. Deal with the 28-year-old winger, 75 million. Permission granted to travel for medical. Yeah, Geordie Jeans, formerly Burger King, I think, says, here we go to Bayern, apparently, yeah. So David Ornstein has said it. And if we find the... Here we go. That's this one here. So Fabrizio is saying Bayern have reached full agreement to sign Diaz from Liverpool. Here we go. Yeah, similar sort of thing. 75 million euro package, which is about 65 million pounds. I think this deal kind of makes sense for everyone. From a Liverpool perspective, they're pretty much doubling their money, so it makes sense from a Liverpool perspective. From a Bayern perspective, it also makes sense because they're filling a position that they really needed to. And I also think from a Diaz perspective, it makes sense. He gets to experience a new culture, a new league, and he's probably going to be getting paid a lot more than he is right now. So it makes sense for him as well. So it's one of those deals that kind of universally makes sense. Flixie says, "Yo, how you doing, Flixie? Hope you're well." Noel says, "I'm gonna miss Diaz, but I think Rio Ngamoa is gonna be better than him in a year or two." Yeah, I've not been so excited about a young player in a long time since Rio has come on the scene. You know what I mean? The last kind of young attacking player I was really that excited about was maybe Raheem Sterling, which feels like ages ago. But yeah, kind of Rio's ability to kind of beat his fullback and his ability to create a chance out of absolutely nothing is pretty amazing. I hope he's kind of eased into the first team, so that we don't kind of overplay him and kind of hamper his development, because he is 16, still very young, still needs to kind of grow physically. But there's a lot to be excited about. Gerard Season 8 has posted a Diaz edit, so yeah, check that out, guys, if you've got a bit of time. NHLFC says, does Fabrizio work with the transfer people? Because how does he get these transfers right every time? I presume he's got like lots of good contacts, I guess. He's probably got good contacts with lawyers. So I'd presume it's probably pretty much kind of the same crop of lawyers who kind of handle most transfers. He's probably got good contacts inside the separate teams. He's probably got good contacts with sporting directors. Because I think equally, whilst sometimes... Spain are through. Saved. Because I think equally, while sometimes he does present scoops, I think sometimes the opposite is true. I think sometimes the clubs also use him to present information. So yeah, he's got a good thing going. But yeah, he seems to be quite accurate most of the time. Flixie says Rio is going to cook this season, hopefully. I hope so too. I hope he's eased into the team. Like, I'm really excited about him, and it seems like everyone's really excited about him, which makes sense. But I hope he's kind of eased into the team, which I think will happen. I think it will happen. Hopefully some performances off the bench. Hopefully start some cup games. Does that seem reasonable to everyone? because he's 16 now. I think he's going to turn 17 next month. So we can say, okay, he's 17. He's 17 for the season. That feels reasonable, I think. Come off the bench in a couple of games, maybe start some cup games, and then see how things go from there. Malusi says, and we are back. Are you watching the Euro final? Indeed, I am, Malusi. England versus Spain. It's currently 0-0. But yeah, hope you're good. Hope you are well. Yeah, I think Rio will get some minutes. He won't like. I think Gakpo will still be the kind of starter. But I guess in many ways the kind of important question is, to a certain degree, now that Diaz is pretty much confirmed as going, are Liverpool gonna bring in like another left winger like a Fofana, or are they gonna rely on Rio to be the backup for Gakpo? I have no idea what the answer is. I guess there's a dependency on like how much you can get like a Fofana for. Like if he's for cheap, you might as well get him. But if he's like 40, 50, you might leave it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see. It'll be interesting to see what happens now. I mean, another option is Chiesa could stay, because I think Chiesa is better on the left anyway. That's another option. But let's see what happens. Flixie says, I don't know what position is Adea. I'll be honest. Do you mean Karim Adeyemi? He's a forward, unless you mean somebody else. I'll be honest. I barely know any of the players in this game. Param is saying, why does he want to move? It's for money, but I don't want to say that negatively in a way to disparage him, because he's currently very underpaid at Liverpool, and he's 28 now. So I think his next contract is going to be his last big contract. So I understand it from his perspective. I think he wants to be kind of financially compensated for the player he is, and I understand it from his perspective. Flixie says, sorry, my keyboard is terrible. That's okay. Who did you mean? Did you mean Karim Adeyemi? He's a forward. Spain are on top in this game, by the way. Fish says, how good was Martin Kelly and Adam Lallana? Martin Kelly, he was kind of more on the fringes from what I recall. Like, it sounds really harsh, but like he was fine. He was nothing special. Like, he was more on the fringes. Adam Lallana I thought was very good. Again, got injuries which kind of hampered his development to a certain degree. But when he came from Southampton, he was very good. I thought he was kind of the first kind of Klopp player, kind of very good at pressing, scored a few goals, very good at passing. But the injuries just got better. The injuries just kept on getting the better of him. And then he ended up just leaving on a free. I think he might have retired now. I think he might have retired. How good was Kolo Touré? For Liverpool, he was okay. But he had his best time at Arsenal, 100%. Yeah, Adeyemi, he's okay. He's a bit lightweight, but he's a forward. Pretty fast. He's pretty quick, to be fair. Malusi says, "Oh man, what a day! We lost Luis Diaz too. I guess we might as well say goodbye to Kanate." On the Kanate side, things are looking a bit more positive. The news that's kind of coming out recently is that they're making ground with respect to negotiations. So I'm starting to feel a bit more confident on the Kanate situation. Apna Punjab says very happy slot. Sam is saying, how on earth have Liverpool got 65 million for Diaz? To be honest with you, I've got no idea. I don't know, because like if you think about it, we bought him for 37 million when he was a lot younger. Now he's a lot older. And you can also make the argument he's perhaps not quite as good as when he first arrived on the scene and before he got that injury. So with all those things considered, I have no idea how they've got 65 million. I appreciate the market's a lot different now. Kind of prices for kind of players are a lot more kind of over the top and kind of that sort of thing. But it's a good deal. I'm pretty happy with that deal. Like if you ask me what's the minimum you'd take, I'd probably say about 50. So I think it's a good deal for everyone involved. Up and Job says, very happy to see one of the Chakal Hermanos gone. To me, to you, Nunes next, hopefully. Yeah, I have a feeling Nunes will go as well. There's some rumors that they can't get the fee that they want for Nunes. I think Napoli were interested, but they couldn't like agree on the fee. There's a chance Nunes could go to Saudi, I guess, but yeah, I'd be surprised if Nunes was still around. How good was Connor and Taiwo? Taiwo won you. He didn't really have much of a chance at Liverpool. Who do you mean by Connor? Do you mean Connor Bradley or a different Connor? The market is very inflated. Like Diaz is good, but he's not worth 65 million. That's the thing with football. It's like every year it feels like the market just gets more and more inflated. But I think with respect to the Diaz, to this Diaz deal, it's a good deal for everyone. I think it's a good deal for everyone. It's a good deal for Liverpool because they double their money. It's a good deal for Bayern because they fill a problem position where they needed help, and it's also a good deal for Diaz because Diaz gets to experience a new league, he gets to experience a new culture, and he gets paid significantly more than he was getting paid at Liverpool. So it feels like a universal. It feels like a universal kind of good deal for everyone, I'd say. Up the Red says Diaz is class. I think he did have a good season last season. But I think the flip side is he only had 2 years left on his deal. Liverpool and Diaz couldn't really come to an agreement on wages. So I think they've done the sensible thing. Because if they didn't do the sensible thing, he'd end up going on a free. So I think all things considered, it perhaps makes sense. You think they've robbed us? You think Diaz is worth more? Diaz is worth more than that? Has Lucho gone? Keep Darwin. Yeah, it looks like Lucho has pretty much gone. Nothing. There hasn't really been kind of any change on the Darwin side. I think the club do want to sell him, but they're having trouble finding a club to meet their valuation. What is that? Because Napoli didn't want to pay the fee, so they might have to go the Saudi route. How you doing, Preston? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Fish is saying, how good was Cody? Cody still plays for Liverpool, Fish. I mean, he's a starting left winger now. So we'd hope he's good. And he is. He is good. He's a different type of player. He's a different type of player to Diaz. But I'm wondering kind of what happens now. Like, are Liverpool going to get another left winger to replace Diaz? Or is the expectation that Rio steps up as the backup? I mean, Rio is very good, but he's also 16. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to kind of see how this resolves itself. Malusi is saying, how are we supposed to win the league now if we're losing the people we won it with? I hear what you're saying. And I think that goes into kind of what we were saying previously, with respect to, okay, let's see what happens with the left wing now. Like, are they going to get, say, a Malik Fofana? Are they going to get somebody else? Or is the expectation that Rio covers that side? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Amy is absolutely gutted Diaz is leaving. I hear you. I think he had a very good season last year. But I think the flip side is it didn't look like, not that he didn't want to sign a contract, but I don't think Liverpool wanted to pay the wages that Diaz was asking for. So I think all things considered, it makes sense, because with 2 years left, if there's kind of no agreement on a contract, you can blink and suddenly there's 1 year left. And then when there's 1 year left, then you blink and they leave on a free. So I think it's not the most ideal situation, but I think kind of everything considered, it's probably the best outcome of a unfortunate situation. Preston's doing good. Good to hear, Preston. Anestia says, do you think Ekitike is worth the amount of money Liverpool paid for him, and we need a new defender? I'll keep the same energy I had for the past 2 weeks, which is, I thought that was a lot of money. I thought that was a lot of money based on what I've seen of Ekitike. Like he has potential, but the price paid was kind of very high, and for kind of that kind of money, I'd want a bit more than kind of potential. If you know what I mean. But equally, he's a data signing, and the data department, more often than not, not even more often than not, 9 times out of 10. Or 9.5 times out of 10, they get their signings absolutely spot on. So with that in mind, I think it's more likely that I'm probably wrong, and he will turn out to be quite good. I've never watched the whole game of Ekitike. Like, I've watched clips here and there, so perhaps it's a bit disingenuous for me to kind of comment and be like, I don't think he's good enough, but I've also not really seen him. But yeah, it is what it is now. I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he proves everyone wrong. And yeah, I hope he does really well. And I'm with you as well on the second one, with respect to needing a new defender, 100%. Because right now you got Van Dijk, you got Konate, you got Joe Gomez, and that's it. We're doing these little experiments in pre-season with Robertson at centre-back, who looks terrible at centre-back. And yesterday we did another experiment with Kostas Tsimikas at centre-back, who also looked terrible at centre-back. And if you think about the kind of 3 senior centre-backs at the club, Van Dijk is Van Dijk. Konate is great, but Konate is going to get injured. So with respect to Konate, Spain has scored. Nice header. That's a nice header, to be fair. I don't know who any of these players are, but that's a nice header. But yeah, Konate is going to get injured, and Joe Gomez is already injured. So you're right. I've just put it 1-0 for England. Let me put it 1-0 for Spain. I do think we kind of. I do think centre back is becoming a priority position. Jonathan. I've decided I'm gonna start calling you Jonathan. I don't know if you'll find that annoying. He said, "Hi, how are you? I won that chess tournament. Very nice, nicely done. Were they were there many games in your chess tournament? Or was it like one match? But either way, congratulations. That's impressive. I don't play chess. I wish I did. But nicely done, man. Nicely done. Did you get a trophy? Because if you got a little trophy, you've got more than what Arsenal have. So, Preston says, "What should my next video be about?" It depends what you're into. Tell me what your hobbies are, Preston, and then I will make a recommendation. Malusi says, "Who do you think's better between Caicedo and McAllister?" When they were both at Brighton, I was kind of leaning a bit more towards Caicedo. Nowadays, I lean a bit more towards kind of McAllister. I feel like McAllister's gone to another level since he joined Liverpool. He's now being talked about as like one of the best midfielders in the world. But that's not to say Caicedo is bad, because Caicedo's also very good. But I feel like McAllister's skill set is a bit more unique, whereas I think Caicedo's skill set is a bit more common. So with that, I'd favour McAllister. Yeah, 100%, Bobby. There's a chance Konate could go as well. What I think will happen is we might get some sort of centre back. Not even might. I really hope we get some sort of centre back this year. But I think the proper kind of centre back rebuild, that will probably happen next year. Because if you think about it, next year there's a chance that Konate could go for free, and also next year, Van Dijk will only have 1 year left on his contract. So I think there might be some sort of kind of significant centre back rebuild next year. Fish says, "Love you, Milner." I will let James Milner know about that. SB says, "How are you feeling about the Diaz situation?" Is that I think I don't want to say happy. I'm content about it. I'm at peace. I'm at peace with it. And we were just talking about this earlier. It's a deal that makes sense for everyone, I think. So from a Liverpool perspective, it makes sense because Liverpool are doubling their money. From a Bayern Munich perspective, it makes sense because Bayern Munich are filling a position that they need filled. And thirdly, from a Luis Diaz perspective, it also makes sense because he gets to experience a new league, he gets to experience new culture, and he gets to significantly increase his wages. So from all kind of aspects, from all non-emotional aspects, it makes sense. Like if you're kind of thinking with your head instead of your heart, kind of thing. From all aspects, from a Liverpool perspective, from a Diaz perspective, from a Bayern perspective, it seems to make sense. It seems to make sense. Preston, who wants suggestions for his next video, says, "I just mainly talk." But that's what are your hobbies? Because you have to talk about something. Do you like gaming? Maybe talk about games of some sort. Ethereal Views says, "Broski, if Diaz is finding Isak of funding, I think if Diaz is funding Isak and potentially Gahey, I don't mind him going. He's slowed down anyway." Yeah, it makes sense. It's a rare deal where like I can't be mad at it because it just makes sense. You know what I mean? Like thinking with your heart, you'll miss him because he's a player who he wasn't like a lazy player. Like he always gave it his all. But taking the heart out of it, I think thinking with your head, logically, it makes universal sense. So I can't even, and like I would legitimately kind of wish him the best and legitimately hope that he does really, really well at Bayern, which to be honest, I don't always wish for players who leave. Sometimes I'm like, who cares? Or sometimes I'm like, I hope they do terribly. But with Diaz, I'm like, you know what? I hope he does well. I hope he does well. I hope he didn't say that at presser because he does badly need centre back depth. Hopefully he's just saying that so that we don't look desperate. You know, because you know, if like sometimes in public you say we really need a centre back, then all the prices kind of go right up. Malusi says yes, this game's turning into a nightmare. Yeah, Spain have been on top. It was a nice header for the goal, like a proper like a rocket of a header as well, not like a weak effort. But yeah, still 1-0. Bobby says, knowing us will bring a centre back through the academy. I've heard this. I've heard some people say that, and some people kind of say potentially Nalo or somebody. I'm not convinced any kind of academy centre backs are kind of quite ready yet. Like with Rio Ngamoa, you could say, okay, you feel like he's ready to take the next step up. Or with Trey Nioni, you could say, okay, I feel like he's pretty much ready to take the next step up. From a centre-back perspective, like Stevenson, Nalo, I'm not sure they're quite there yet. They're good, but I feel like the Premier League is like an entirely different level. So I hope they do bring someone in. Jay said it's how sad he's going, but I understand why. Yep, same. Kaz says Liverpool getting an amazing fee for a decent player. Yeah, I agree with you. 65 million pounds. Johnny played 10 games. You got 50 pounds. Oh, nice. So you got 50 pounds, no trophy, and you can call me anything, Mamacita. Fair enough. So in this chess tournament that you won, do you have to like win all 10 games to win that? Or is it like a league format, so you don't have to win all? But either way, that's impressive. Malusi asks, why are England playing like they do not want this? Where is the passion? Yeah, they look a tad intimidated, a tad awestruck. So it could be the occasion to a certain degree. But equally, sometimes kind of once the nerves kind of dissipate, then they get into the game a bit more. So maybe that could happen. But again, kind of Spain are on top here. Spain are kind of, to be fair, like some very nice passing. Like they doing like these little kind of 1-2s and things, and they just did a long ball there. That was quite nice. I mean, they're looking quite good. Preston's gonna do that. Sounds good. Preston's gonna upload a gaming video. Bobby thinks Nunes is next. I think he is as well. Konza is perfect. Yeah, Konza would be good. Mr. Default says Rashford on loan. From a Man United perspective, are you happy about that, or are you? I think no. I think you wanted to sell him, didn't you? You wanted to sell him, if I recall, because you just wanted to kind of get the money in and move on, and not push the problem to a later date, because that's what this loan is to a certain degree, from a Man United perspective, anyway. I think I recall you saying you just want to kind of get the money in now, kind of move on, kind of reinvest the money. So yeah, I hear where you're coming from. If I was a Man United fan, I'd have similar sort of thoughts, because I just feel like loans with an option to buy, especially with kind of very senior players, it feels like you're just moving the problem to a later date, i.e. next season. So I just get the money in now. Ethereal Views says, I think Liverpool were stubborn with wage negotiations. I think so as well. And I don't blame Diaz for wanting to go. Yeah, me too. I think we've had Diaz for a few years. There's some rumours. I don't know if the rumours are true, But there's some rumours that he was only on like £55,000 a week. I don't know how true those are, but those were the rumours. So from his perspective, he's 28 now. His next contract is going to be his last big contract. So I'm like, yeah, I can't be unhappy. SB thinks that Lucas Stevenson should come up. He's looking all right in pre-season. I'm not quite sure if he's ready to take that step up to the kind of senior ranks just yet, but maybe in cup games, that sort of thing could be good. Owen says the best sellers in the league. Yeah, getting a lot of value for our players. There was something. I saw something earlier that Liverpool have raised, I think, 192 million through sales now in the last 2 years. So I think that's pretty good. Gary says Liverpool should have given Diaz an improved contract. He's one of the best players. Yeah, I think that's kind of where the negotiations kind of fell apart, it seems. Gary says, why is she not playing the ones that change the game? She needs to put the subs on earlier tonight. Is this for England? I'd agree with you. They're lacking a bit of tenacity at the moment, but potentially subs can make a difference. PG says when Diaz leaves, yeah, I think the Isak stuff will pick up after that. Mr. Default would rather have the money, but they're covering the full 350k wages, which is true. So I guess it's not the worst deal in the world. So Johnny's a chess competition. It was a point method. All right, so whoever gets the most points. It was close between me and this random guy, and his girlfriend was hot after I won. I wigged. Fair enough. But yeah, congratulations on winning the competition. It's not easy. E says, hi bro, how are you? Not too bad, man. Not too bad for a Sunday. I went out to eat last night by myself, and it cost £18. Like, what's happening? There's football inflation and there's real life inflation. Granted, I got a mixed grill, but even then, where did you go? Like some sort of like Mediterranean kind of Turkish type of place. I got like a mixed grill. It's like £18 for one. I mean, it was good, but even then, I'm like, damn. I mean, I knew how much it was gonna cost before I went, so because I go there maybe once a month. But even then, I'm like, damn. There's football inflation and there's real life inflation. Diaz goes, Isak bid goes in for sure. Yeah, I think equally there's the money perspective. There's also a non-homegrown spot freed up in the team now. So from that perspective, Isak could take that spot. Equally, the number 7 shirt is free now. I've got a feeling Florian Wirtz is going to get the number 7 shirt. Malusi says, do you think that now that Arsenal have Gyökeres, can they take the Premier League title from us? Nope, not with that manager. I think their manager is just kind of far too defensive, and he doesn't really have the bottle or the kind of strength of mind, I think, to kind of get it over the line. Now, if they were to get rid of the manager, then I'd be very concerned, because I think they do have some very good players. But not at the moment. Yeah, Ekatike spelled backwards is Ekatike. That is wild. Preston's uploaded his video. What game were you talking about? You did that very quickly. But what game? JSC says it's a big loss for Liverpool. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. It isn't. But equally, I think kind of given the circumstances, it's a fair deal for everyone involved. Liverpool double their money. Bayern get a good player. Diaz gets a lot of money. I think, given all those elements, it feels like it kind of makes sense. Yeah, it would mostly have been for the money. But equally, like, I don't blame him because I feel like we were underpaying him anyway. So, and I think he's 28 now, so this is going to be his last big contract because I think it's a 5-year deal. It's 4+1. So let's call that a 5-year deal. So from 28 to 33, especially as a winger, like, he's probably not going to be better at 33. So I think this is his last big contract. So I'm like, good for him. Preston's video is almost done. If Liverpool want Isak, it's 172 million euros. So what would that be? Like 150 million pounds. And for Mark Gahey, it's going to be a 50 million pounds. I think if Isak has, I don't want to say thrown his toys out the pram, but if Isak has thrown his toys out the pram, as it would appear, you might be able to get that fee down a little bit, not significantly. Might be able to get that down a little bit. SB thinks Averts has chose the 27. Yeah, I saw that. There was like a leak. I don't know if you can call it a leak, but there was like some screenshots from the Liverpool website today that's had Frimpong on number 30 and had Verts on number 27, which is a number that he's had in the past. Fair enough, I guess. But I think if the 7 is available, it would sell a lot. He'd sell a lot of merchandise. But equally, if he doesn't want it, he doesn't want it. Johnny, fresh from his victory at the chess tournament, says, my friend asked me for a party. I told him I got 50 only. What's that money? Zaza. I don't know what that is. Rodrigo to Liverpool. That is a name that's been rumored, but it seems like the Isak stuff is a bit more. That story seems to have more legs in it by the looks of it. It's just me says apparently 66 isn't having a good time. Yeah, was it a kind of news story that came out yesterday? Something along the lines of his inability to defend one-on-one is giving Xabi Alonso sleepless nights. Hate to say we told you so. Yeah. What I just hope is when he continues not to have a good time, please, for the love of God, gods, or whatever, please, for the love of God/gods, can nobody say, oh, let's bring him home. Let's please bring him home, because that's going to start. That's going to start maybe in January, maybe next year. We need to just shut that down immediately. He can enjoy the bench and then enjoy Villa in 2 years. Preston talked about, is that Breath of the Wild? Zelda game. Netta says, did you hear about Isak telling Newcastle he wants to leave this summer? Yeah. That's something that came out very recently. And I think also Eddie Howe, they asked, I'll see if I can find it. They asked Eddie Howe a question. Do you think Isak's going to join you? I mean, look at it. Here you go. That's quite convincing, isn't it? So Eddie Howe on chances for Isak to join the Newcastle squad on tour next week. So they said to him, hello Edward. Hope you're good, Edward. Is Isak going to join you? And he's like, no chance. That doesn't necessarily mean he's joining Liverpool, but that if someone says, nah, there's no chance it's happening. Exciting times await us. Unless he goes to Saudi. Will says hello. How you doing, Will? Malusi says, wow, inflation really is something. With 100 million, you could have gotten 3 Pelés back then, yeah. Back in my day, like 30 million was like a lot of money for a striker or a player. I remember Wayne Rooney went for about 30 million. So it's just pretty crazy how kind of transfer fees have grown. Lucas Podolski, aka Fish, says hi. Hi Fish, how are you, Fish? Hope you're well, Fish. Trent on loan to Coventry. That would be hilarious. I can't think of a more kind of grim place to end up. Oh God, Coventry. It's gonna be like I've always been a Coventry fan. What is there in Coventry other than like a university? That would be so funny. Preston says the Breath of the Wild is good. I think I've played that one. I don't think I finished it, but I have played that one. Kevin says that Isak's gone, bro. Diaz just got sold. Yeah, there was a news story earlier that was kind of saying now that Diaz is gone. Not that there's funding for Diaz, but it looks... Sorry, not that there's funding for Isak, but it looks like the Isak stuff is going to perhaps pick up a bit of speed now. I think Liverpool have always had the money for Isak. I'd argue the dependency on the Diaz sale isn't for money. It's more to free up a spot in the team for a non-homegrown player, because I think we were very close to that limit. So with Diaz going, who's from Colombia, then a guy from Sweden can fill that spot. So it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if kind of that was the reason. Coventry has a cathedral without a tooth and Lampard. Preston says you should beat Breath of the Wild. I tried, but like I was really enjoying it. But eventually I just started finding it a bit repetitive. I got to the part where you have to get into like a village, but you have to disguise yourself because the village only allowed women in. So then you had to like find like a woman's costume. I think that's roughly where I got to. Fish, sorry, Lucas Podolski says hi. Liverpool to the Europa League. What makes you say that, Fish? Sorry, Lucas Podolski. Kevin says so Isak's coming to Liverpool. It looks like it's like the pieces are starting to fall into place. Especially with Eddie Howe saying this. There's no chance of him joining. And kind of all the rumours have pointed to the fact that it's only Liverpool who really seem to be interested. And like Netta just like read my mind just there, as kind of Netta says Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Isak only wants Liverpool and he doesn't want Saudi. Yeah, which makes sense. And if you think about kind of where else he could conceivably go, kind of for argument's sake, like Chelsea have got João Pedro, Arsenal have got Gyökeres, Real Madrid have got Mbappe. So unless there's some sort of significant kind of twist in the tail, I do think he'll end up at Liverpool. Fish is Lucas Podolski's son. Good to hear. I hope he's well behaved. I hope he's a good son. PG says, I think we're doing our business this year and next year we'll go quiet again. Maybe just 1 or 2 joining. Yeah, I hear you. I think the kind of significant changes happening this year. Maybe next year, maybe another centre back or something like that. But yeah, I don't expect another kind of busy window like this for maybe a couple of years. But equally, like, this window is the result also of not buying anyone the past 3 windows, if you think about it. So in some ways, it's not like we're borrowing against future windows. Not, and you didn't say that, to be fair, but it's not. It's more, we saved 3 windows worth of money and we're just kind of spending it in one go, I think. Yeah, that was it. Grudo Town. I think that's where I got to. LFC on top. Wouldn't mind Sesko, or maybe get a winger similar to Dembele, and make it more fluid. Possibly. The thing is, I really like Salah on the right hand side because he does that. That weird pass that he does with the outside of the foot, and he kind of curls it in. I think that's really effective. That's a really effective move that it feels like he can only do on the right. Also, Gakpo's kind of starring move is cut inside from the left and shoot with my right foot. So Gakpo's kind of star move he can only do on the left. Salah's star move he can pretty much only do on the right. But fluidity is not a bad thing equally. Preston said you have to buy the armor. Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. It was like I haven't picked it up since. I'm currently playing Doom, in the middle of Doom: The Dark Ages. Gyökeres will flop in the second half of the season. I think he might flop in the half before that. P5AM says favorite Diaz goal. Mine was the Spurs equalizer in 2022. Yeah, that could be the one. That could definitely be the one. I liked his goal versus United this year. When I think Gravenberch won the ball, and I can't remember who crossed it in. It was probably Salah, but Diaz just took it first time and got it kind of right into the corner. I really like that one as well. Johnny says, would you rather live with 30 women or live with all your top 10 fans? The second one. Living with 30 women would be terrible, especially kind of given the building is probably the same size. So I'd go for the second one. That divine beast gives you the second best ability in the game. I can make a video on how to make a video or how to get there. To be honest, I need to pick up that game again. But when I pick up that game, I'll let you know, and then I will come to you for help, because you seem to be an expert on the game. Currently, I'm playing Doom: The Dark Ages, which is good. It's not as good as Doom 2016. That game was really good, but this one's pretty good. It's called A Bruiser's Fury. Very nice. How many seasons do you think Ten Hag will have at Leverkusen, says Netta. I was going to say the same amount of seasons as hairs on his head. But he's probably got like 1 or 2 little hairs, so that's probably exaggerating. I think they'll probably give him 2 years. I don't think things will be as terrible as they were at Man United. I think he'll be given a bit more time, and I think at Leverkusen as well, there's perhaps less pressure. So I think maybe 2 years, something like that. Johnny says, this man on the screen is a banana peel. He make me fall in love. Oh God, I need to get that tattooed on my forehead. Tommy says, What do you think will be the Champions League final this season? I mean, it feels like a lazy and kind of easy answer to say Liverpool PSG, if you know what I mean. It feels like the lazy, easy answer because it's highly dependent on kind of how the knockout rounds go. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised if kind of Liverpool are there or thereabouts. I wouldn't be surprised if PSG are there or thereabouts. I don't. I think Barcelona. I think Barcelona could be there as well. Barcelona feel a bit more kind of cohesive than Real Madrid at the moment. Real Madrid seem to be going through a transition of sorts. Got Xabi Alonso and is Xabi Alonso, is he playing 3 at the back or is he playing 4 at the back? Because he seems to be changing it up. I think Barcelona as well. So it's hard to say kind of who both the teams will be, if you know what I mean. Because there's a dependency on how the draw goes. But I think one of them will at least be Barcelona or Liverpool or PSG. Equally, that's not like a particularly intelligent thing to say. You know, oh, I think it'll be either the Spanish champions or the English champions or the French champions. But I think I think it will be one of those. Jonathan says, "Are you an airport? Because I want to land on you." I am an airport. Yes, I am. My forehead is big enough to be an airport, so we'll take that. Preston says, "Okay, I never heard of the game you just said. Doom: The Dark Ages. It's an FPS. It's good. It's not my favorite Doom game ever, but it's on Game Pass, so I'm just playing my way through that." Preston's gonna post in 5 minutes on how to get in Grudo Town. I shall check that out. I'll make a note to check it out, because when I say I check it out, I'll forget. But to be fair, when I say I'll check it out and I make a note to do it, then I do it. Fish is sleeping in Tesco. Fish, what is your obsession with Tesco? You do seem to mention Tesco a lot. Tesco's fine. I mean, it's all right. It depends what kind of Tesco. Like big Tesco's, they're good. Tesco Expresses, they can be a bit expensive. But big Tesco's good. Dexter says, "Bro, sound so calm." I am calm today. But how are you? Hope you're good. Hope you are good, Dexter. Johnny says he wants to land on me because he just fell in love with me. Well, again, I got a giant forehead, so there is plenty of space. Dexter says, "I'm good, thank you. How about yourself?" Yeah, not too bad. The weather is getting a bit cooler now, which is good. Sometimes when it's too hot, I don't really like that, but yeah, it's a bit better this weekend. Fish says, "Come on, ladies." Still one. Let me just set the timer back to 45 minutes. It is still 1-0, isn't it? I'm not too sure what that... I think I know what that means, but I'm not... I'll say no comment. Dexter says, "Thoughts on Lucho?" Yeah, we were just talking about that a bit earlier. I think it's one of those deals that makes sense for everyone. So we can bring it back up on the screen here. It's one of those deals that makes sense for everyone. So from a Liverpool perspective, it makes sense because Liverpool are doubling their money. From a Bayern Munich perspective, it makes sense because Bayern Munich are filling a position that they need filled. And from a Lucho perspective, it also makes sense because he's gets to experience a new league, gets to experience a new culture, and perhaps most importantly of all, he gets paid significantly higher. So basically, he's going to get a big wage bump. So I think I think it's one of those deals where I can't even be mad. It just feels like it makes sense. It makes sense for everyone. Dexter says we can get Isak now, though. Yeah, there was something. If you see this one here, Eddie Howe on chances for Isak to join Newcastle squad on tour next week. He's saying no chance. So I think especially with kind of Diaz going, it increases the likelihood of Isak joining Liverpool. And not just from a money perspective. Like, granted, Diaz is going for about £65 million, which certainly helps when you're paying 120, 130 for Isak. But I think additionally, with Diaz going, a non-homegrown spot is now free in the team. Because I think Liverpool were kind of quite close to the limit with respect to kind of how many non-homegrown players they could field. So with Diaz going, there's a spot available for a foreign player, and yeah, it just increases the likelihood of that. Preston will be right back. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Johnny saying, I make him have interesting feelings, but he's still single if any girl is interested. If I come across anyone, Johnny, I'll let you know. You'll have to remind me. You have to remind me what your requirements are. If I recall, Johnny is 17, so he was saying anyone between the ages of 17 to 19, and they have to. I think you were saying it'd be nice if they liked football, but it's not a mandatory requirement. And but what is a mandatory requirement is that she does not support Real Madrid. And the reason why that's a mandatory requirement is because you're a Barcelona fan. Have I got your requirements? Have I remembered your requirements correctly? But correct me if I'm wrong. Luke said you think Simmons is gonna land at Chelsea. Is that as in, like, will he be a success? I think he's a good player, but like, genuine question, like, where would he play? Would he play like in would he play in Cole Palmer's position? All right, so you're saying, like, is he going to be any, like, he's a good player. Like, Xavi Simmons is a good player. Like, my question would be, where would he play? Is he going to be like Cole Palmer's backup? I think Cole Palmer's better. Cole Palmer's like one of my favorite players. Like, despite being a Chelsea player. So, like, would he be Palmer's backup? Or you think Cole Palmer goes to the right and then Simmons goes in the middle? Okay. So would Palmer take Neto's position then? So would Neto go on the bench here? Spain are through. England defending. Corner. Durwood says, hello, champion family. How are you, Durwood? Hope you're well. Hope you are good. Timing today is a bit better. Yesterday's was so early, wasn't it? I'm saying it's so early, but it would have been even earlier for you. But yeah, it was like 12:30 UK time. So about 7:30 for Durwood. It takes a bit of kind of getting used to, because we've had so many kind of late games recently, like 8 o'clock kickoff. So the morning kickoffs are taking a bit of kind of getting used to. Mintu Boro says, hi, you are from Spain. I'm not from Spain. I have been to Spain. I went to Spain last year. I went to Barcelona. It was very nice. And I also went to Montserrat in Spain, which is very nice. But I'm not from Spain. Are you from Spain? Gittins left midfield with João Pedro striker. Who did you have on the left versus PSG? Because I remember seeing your attack against PSG, and I was like, that's a pretty capable attack. I can't remember now though. But like Chelsea getting some good players, can't lie. Yeah, it was 7:30. The way it is when the Premier League is on, yeah. I had to correct myself because I was complaining that 12:30 was too early, and then I remembered it was 7:30 for you. It was 7:30 for you, and I think I don't know who's on TikTok. I think it was 4 a.m. or something for him because he's on West Coast. So yeah, the 12:30 games they don't really work too well. Mintu Boro says, "What about Virat Kohli? Is that a cricket player?" I'll be honest, I probably know the least about cricket. But he's Indian, so that means you might speak Hindi. You speak Hindi or Punjabi? Because I can probably understand what you're saying. Or Urdu possibly. But if you speak Gujarati, I won't understand that. Johnny says, I just seen the comment above. I'm not gonna read that one, but I'll read this one. It says, "Mamacita, you all mine." Lucky me. Thinking of changing your username to Mamacita Lover. You should change it to Chess Champion. I don't know if everyone's aware, but Johnny won a chess tournament yesterday. Was it yesterday? Recently. And also won £50 prize money, which is pretty good. So you should change it to reflect your achievements within the fields of chess. Fish said, "What did you say about my mum?" Only nice things. Your dad was here earlier, Lucas Podolski. And when I say your dad, I mean you, because I still think that's you. But yeah, only nice things. Mintu Boro says, "Bro, I know Hindi and English. Do you know Hindi?" I know Urdu, Punjabi. So if you type something in Hindi, let me see if I understand it. that will be a test, right? And I promise I won't Google it. I can understand it, but I'm not good enough to speak it. Durwood has woken up at 4 something for Japan national team when Minamino played for us. Wow. That is a level of commitment I quite frankly do not have. I have to respect that level of commitment. And it wasn't just a Liverpool game. It was an international, just for one player. So I'm like, fair enough. I gotta respect that. You're certainly a bigger football fan than I am. Because even if Liverpool were playing at 4 a.m. like not Japan, if Liverpool were playing, I probably wouldn't wake up. Like I like watching UFC, and UFC comes on at say I think 10 p.m. in the US. I appreciate there's different time zones, but roughly 10 p.m., which is like 3 a.m. for us, and I never wake up for it. Is that like Sat Sri Akal? That means like hello. But that's more. I might have that wrong though. Is that like the Sikh way of saying hello? I think. But I think I got that wrong. I think I've got that wrong. Johnny says, "Fish, your mom is hot." Don't know how you feel about that, Fish, but Johnny's just being honest. Johnny said he'll be your therapist, and I'm not going to put that on the screen. But he's willing to offer you therapy. Spain fans in the crowd are very into this game. They are still 1-0 up. Ooh, Fish is Fish is giving Johnny a taste of his own medicine. I don't know if that means I got it wrong or got it right. I have a feeling I got it wrong. But I understand. I understand a bit of Hindi here and there. What about who's gonna win? Is that like Kon Jeet something? Probably Spain, to be honest with you. Spain are on top. Spain have had more of the ball. Spain have had the better chances. Spain just had another chance there. Unfortunately, the shot was awful. But like they're really like their levels of fitness are like quite impressive. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean it like in a, in terms of, I was going to say in terms of physical, but you know what I mean. Like they're just running and running and running. They're not getting tired. The pressing high. They seem to be kind of a step above England at the moment. England look a bit more kind of tired, whereas kind of Spain have a lot more energy. The goal was really good. It was a really good header. Yeah, I can't put that on the screen, Johnny, but I can if you maybe refresh. Oh god. Just trying to mediate a conversation sometimes. Yeah. Fish is like, Johnny has responded to you, but I'm not going to put that on the screen. Johnny is saying, I love you too. Oh, England have equalised. And England got a header this time. Nice little header. I mean, the cross looked pretty good as well. I'm just waiting for the replay. Liam, the Aberdeen fan, says, goal. Are you from Aberdeen, Liam? Because I've been to Aberdeen a few times and it's always freezing. I actually worked in Aberdeen for a period of time. It was nice, but it was always so cold. I think because of the kind of the water. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice cross. Nice cross, I mean, nice header. Liam just supports them. Fair enough. Yeah, I used to work there for maybe a couple of months. It was nice, to be fair. Like, it was pretty good. Had a very modern shopping centre near where I worked, but yeah, it was freezing. Ali says up the Spain. England just equalised. It was a nice goal. Oh. I think Fish is impressed with Johnny's cooking skills. Thinks Johnny is a very good chef. Has a culinary arts that Gordon Ramsay would be impressed with. Ooh, that was a nasty tackle. That was a nasty tackle by England number 2. Oh, God. That didn't look good. Yellow cards come out. To be fair, it's it looked like an accident. Yeah. Johnny providing tips on kind of how he likes to cook food. So Johnny is kind of more of a griller. He's not an air fryer type of guy. He's also not a kind of also doesn't like fried food. Also doesn't like microwaves. He's more of a grill. Is that like a normal grill, Johnny, or is that like a barbecue? Because that must be what you're talking about. We're just talking about cooking here. Spain look a bit shell shocked here. Timothy the Goat says thoughts on Victor to Arsenal. I think he'll get them a couple of goals. I'm not sure he'll bridge the gap to first. But they needed the striker, they got a striker, I guess. Did he play today? Probably didn't play today. It's probably a bit early, isn't it? I'm surprised they didn't go for Sesko. I always thought Benjamin would be the one they went for, but it is what it is. Fish says, "Oi, that's not any way to talk to an officer." Are you an officer now, Fish? Why were you in Tesco earlier then? That is the question. Spain doing the whole play out the back thing. Spain, you could definitely argue, were kind of coasting before the goal went in. Now they look slightly more nervous. Now England are getting a lot more of the ball. Fish says a 2030 Europa League final. Yeah, that was West Ham versus Galatasaray. Johnny says bye Mamacita and everyone, and Fish keep doing that. Long live Barcelona. JK says bro, not once but twice. Bro. How are you, JK? Good chance for England there. But it was defended. Preston has just posted it. Is this the Breath of the Wild video? I shall have to check that out. I will have to check that out. Well, according to this, Liverpool's bid for Isak is now just a matter of time. Interesting. Newcastle United management reached out to Isak not once but twice, asking him to join the squad for the upcoming tour next week in the Far East. This comes after he turned down the chance to play in Singapore. The first request came in on Friday evening, and let's say his response was pretty blunt to Newcastle. It's clear he's got his reasons for not wanting to go. He's been told that Liverpool bid is imminent. Yeah, I think I think effort has basically summed that up pretty nicely. Damn. So it looks like the Isak stuff is moving pretty fast. It kind of makes sense, kind of given this. Liverpool still plan to sell Nunes, still plan to sell Chiesa. So with Jota also being gone, and with Diaz also going, they'd be down to kind of two forwards. Just Gakpo. Well, not all three. So Gakpo, Salah, and Ekitike. So it makes sense to kind of bring in. What's his name, Isak as well. Effort says, "Great day to be a Liverpool fan. Indeed it is. Indeed it is." Still a lot of people talking about Rio replacing Luis Diaz in the squad. I do like Rio. Only concern would be, are we going to rely too much on a player who's 16? What on earth has Pep done here? Pep's grown a mustache. Why is Pep grown a mustache? I'm not sure how I feel about that. It just doesn't quite look right on him, if I'm honest. It looks a bit odd. Modus was, is that real? Unfortunately, I think it might be. I wish it wasn't real. Apparently, Chelsea are signing Hato, which is interesting. Ooh, according to this, Benjamin Sesko's got an agreement in principle with Newcastle for a contract till 2030. Now, why could that be? Whatever could possess such a thing to come into being? Are they losing the striker that they have? Pep looks like an average grandfather with that stash. Sorry. Yeah. Let's hope it stops him from swirling the spit around his mouth like he used to do last year. Fish says teams in Europa League 2030: Galatasaray, West Ham, Everton, Hamburg, Mallorca, Oviedo, Barcelona, Benfica, Astana, Rio, Bayern Munich, and Gornik. Very nice, Fish. Hopefully it will block it from being visible, but there's also a chance it could get stuck in there if he's swirling it around a bit too much. So it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. But let's hope it's a good thing. Come on, England or Spain. David says, "Oh, stop! I didn't think about that." Yeah, it would be quite gross. Preston is currently playing Breath of the Wild. Is that a new save, or are you partway through the game? Where are you up to? That is the question. Effort says, "What's your YouTube?" I've just put it in the chat for you there, Effort. Or if you go on my profile, you'll see it on my profile. But I've also put it in the chat there. England bringing a sub on. I'm getting the Thunder Helm. What is? Oh, that actually rings a bell. That actually rings a bell. I haven't played that game for a couple of years, but that does ring a bell. Spain player is down. I appreciate that effort. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, YouTube tends to work better than TikTok. Sometimes on TikTok, like the comments don't come up properly. Sometimes it disconnects as well, which is proper annoying. Because when TikTok disconnects, you can't then reconnect. Like you have to start like a new one, and then it's a bit annoying. But yeah, the YouTube works quite reliably. I find anyway. Oh, this tweet's gonna go down very well, isn't it? Says Liverpool have had an, I should say. I had realised I haven't even started the timer. That's okay. Let's start the timer back up. There we go. The timer is corrected. Liverpool have an infuriating habit of snatching Newcastle's top players. Liverpool have raided Peter Beardsley. Was Beardsley directly from Newcastle? Terry McDermott, Alan Kennedy, Barry Venison, not to be confused with Barry Beef or Barry Lamb, Didi Hamann. I remember that. I remember Didi Hamann. Andy Carroll, of course, Jose Enrique, Jorginho Wijnaldum, and now it's looking like Isak too. Oh, they're going to love that. Newcastle are anticipating a bid from Liverpool for Isak in the next 48 hours. What's that? This is typically quite a good website. Endo does not look happy. Liverpool were without both McAllister and Endo for the loss to AC Milan, but there should be some positive news. It looks like McAllister's been given a bit of a kind of longer rest, which makes sense because he played a lot of football last season. I think towards the end of the last season as well, kind of once the league was won, they kind of took him out to give him a rest. So he's had a nice kind of period of a few months to kind of rest up. So he should be. I think the rest should do him a world of good. McAllister's back in full training. Ooh, having recovered from a long-term injury sustained in the back of last season. I didn't know he had an injury, but it's good. It's good to see that he's recovered from it. So hopefully he plays against Yokohama on Wednesday. What's this? Andy Robertson left bemused by Liverpool vice captaincy hoax. Andy Robertson was left bemused after receiving calls and messages saluting him for becoming Liverpool's vice captain due to an online rumour. Alright, so a post on X claimed that Robertson had been appointed the new vice captain, but it came from a parody account. But it seems like so everyone was congratulating him, and it wasn't even real. Can't lie, it's pretty funny. Are you just naming random teams, Fish, or is there meaning to the randomness? That is the question. I think that phrases it quite nicely. 69 million for 23-year-old Ekatike in terms of an outgoing. 65 million for 28-year-old Diaz in terms of a incoming from a fee perspective. Makes sense. That reminds me, there's some more pictures of the Liverpool kit came out. That's not it. That's not the kit. Because I think the actual kit's got white along the top, and the away one's more kind of cream coloured, and it's got like black along the column. Ah, it's your Europa League 2030. I see. Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. Oh, have you seen this? This has just come out 2 minutes ago. Eddie Howe on Isak. Naturally, we are going to miss Alexander Isak's quality, and the group are going to feel that. So he's gone. Isak is gone. It doesn't necessarily mean he's gone to Liverpool, but Eddie Howe has said he's not going to join us, which is what he was saying earlier, and now he's basically confirmed that Isak is gone. England goalkeeper on the floor. I'm not sure why. Other than Saudi, Liverpool were the only ones going for Isak, right? Yeah, I believe so. Because I was thinking, what are the other possible destinations? Chelsea have already got João Pedro, so I think we can cross Chelsea off the list. Arsenal have got Gyökeres, so I think we can cross Gyökeres off the list. Man United ain't gonna happen. Real Madrid have already got Mbappe, so they're not a viable destination. He's not going to go Barcelona. So yeah, I think Liverpool are the only kind of club in for him that he'd kind of really want to go to. I think there's a chance, I guess, that Newcastle's hierarchy could be stubborn and just say, you know what, it's Saudi or nothing. But I'm not sure that would be the best thing to do, because then any players in the future are gonna see that and then not want to join Newcastle. And I can't lie, he does look quite good in the red. I appreciate that's not the official kit, even though I think what they've designed here looks better than the official kit. But I think it suits him. Fish says, "Ow." What is ow, Fish? I think he already turned them down. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense for him to go there at this stage. At this stage in his career, when he's at the peak of his powers. I do think the move is going to happen. I think Newcastle are just being a bit stubborn about it, which equally I understand from their perspective. But I'm hoping the 130 million helps cushion the blow to a certain degree. Preston just found a Muldo King. What was that again? That rings a bell. It's something from that game, isn't it? It's something from Breath of the Wild. But you'll have to remind me what that is, because I don't fully remember. Lennon Fence says, a Newcastle fan here. Honestly, I think you're getting robbed. 22 games in last season Prem, he didn't score. I hear you. I think the flip side is he's probably the best striker who's available. Like, I like his skills. I think he's a very good striker. The concern for me would be more from a fitness perspective. Like, did he miss like I saw some kind of stats once. I don't know how accurate they were. Kind of regarding how many games he'd missed. That was a concern to a certain degree, I'd say. But I'd say the flip side is I think as a striker he's very effective. He's gotten the better of Van Dijk quite a few times. So I think that illustrates his capability. I'm excited. I'm excited. It really irritates me when people put 11s like this. They're saying, what's stopping... The comment that you have there is, what's stopping this Liverpool team from winning everything? I'd say the lack of balance. This person has just randomly stuck every good player on the team and tried to kind of form a formation off the back of it. I mean, a 4-4-2 with left-footed Salah on the right and Florian Wirtz on the left, I wouldn't be particularly happy about that. Lennon says Sesko 60 million, Scalvini 30 million, Barea 70. That adds up to like way more than 150, unless I'm being silly. So 60 plus 30 is 90, plus 70 is 160. 35, 190. That's 245. What? Oh right, so you'd right, okay. So you'd add on the money you already have. I see. So but basically what you're saying is you'd look to use the money to fund a rebuild. It makes sense. It kind of makes sense. I think Wiss is a good player. Berea might be quite hard. Berea might be quite hard to get out of Italy. But Sesko's another one. Sesko is available. I think Sesko's a good player. He's quite young as well. So it's not all. It does look like this move could happen, but I think equally from a Newcastle perspective, it's not all doom and gloom. This is something I'd be concerned about. Very excited about Mr. Rio and Gamoa, but equally, he is 16. I think he needs to be kind of given time to develop, given space to develop, so that we don't overplay him and then suddenly he's getting injured every 2 seconds. I appreciate sports science has progressed a fair amount since Michael Owen played, but even then, I think it is a risk. I'm just trying to see if there's kind of anything credible. Malusi says, "How is the match going?" I won't lie, Malusi. I got bored. I still have it on. I just started. I just started looking at Liverpool transfer rumors instead. I mean, the match is still going. I have it on in another window here. It's 1-1. It was a nice equalizer. Nice equalizer by England. A nice goal. But I was just checking up on some of the Isak news, which seems to have progressed in the past few minutes. It's starting to look slightly more likely. Granted, it's still not a given, and it's still not a definite. And I tend not to get overexcited until something is actually done. But it's moving in the right direction, and I think once this deal is actually done, or if this deal is actually done, then they should really start prioritizing the defensive positions. Specifically centre back. Malusi says, "Nah, man, classic Liverpool supporter right there." Yeah, I got a bit bored of the international. Oh, what have I done there, man? Why is it zoomed in? Jesus. Good Lord. There you go. It shall also be quite interesting to see what happens with Darwin. Napoli couldn't afford Nunez. Saudi can. Got a feeling he'll probably end up in Saudi. Yeah, he is a good defender, but not for 50 million. The trouble is, the trouble is to a certain degree, who else is available? Unless there's someone else available from from a foreign league. I know some people have said Inacio. Oh, is this game going to extra time? Not that I'm not enjoying this game, because I am. I assure you, this is the best Sunday I've had in a while, watching these two teams. But I kind of hope it would have finished in the first 90 minutes. But anyway, this Diaz stuff is a lot more interesting. No, like how do people come up with this? Do these people not watch it? What why would you have Isak on the left, and why would you have Wirtz in the middle? That is nonsense. Like, I appreciate what people do is just come up with systems, and I wouldn't even call this a system, but just come up with kind of attempts just to stick every good player on the team, and you know, pretend that it's some sort of genius revelation. But that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. I don't want Wirtz playing in his natural position in the number 10 position, and I'd want Isak centrally. And you can put Gakpo on the left. Nothing wrong with Gakpo. Yeah, and that as well. Dawood saying, I want to know why people are leaving Szoboszlai out. Szoboszlai was literally the engine of a league winning team last year. I appreciate Wirtz is probably going to play in his position, but even then, there is a place for Szoboszlai in the team. I think it shows as well that Liverpool are starting to get serious strength and depth, not just kind of strength and depth, but kind of serious strength and depth in multiple positions where kind of hard decisions are having to be made. Who do we leave out? Do we leave Szoboszlai out? Do we leave player X out? Do we leave player Y out? The positive is, I think, from a certain perspective, it increases the confidence with respect to challenging on multiple fronts. Oh, let me just stop the timer again. So hopefully there's at least 2 trophies next year. Maybe more. Mr. Default says Højlund would complete that front three. I think I've closed it because I was so disgusted. I'll see if I can find it then. But if you're putting Højlund if you're putting Højlund in that front three, would you put him in Florian Wirtz's position, and or would you put him somewhere else? Mr. Default also says Isak is coming to United, so yeah. Oh, you've you've said it there. A man can dream. I think, to be fair, I think United's attacking purchases have been quite good. I think Cunha's a good player. I think Mbeumo's a good player. I'd want them to maybe sort out their midfield now, or at the very least their keeper. Matthew says, what we're talking about today? Mr. Default says Man United winning the treble. We were absolutely not talking about that. We were talking about the Luis Diaz deal. So it looks like the Diaz deal is confirmed. Diaz is on his way to Bayern Munich, £65 million, which is good, because I think we paid like 37.5 million. So for 65 million, would be doubling our money. So it's good for Liverpool. It's good for Bayern, because Bayern get a new player that they really want. And it's also good for Luis Diaz, because he gets to significantly increase his wages. So it's a good deal for everyone, I think. Mr. Default says we need to get rid of a few more players, though. You do. Which player specifically would you get rid of? I think it's got to be Casemiro, right? At the very least, because he's on silly wages, silly money. This is just kicked off. Set, start. There we go. Matthew says, as a Liverpool fan, they've got a solid squad. If they just gel, get a new left wing back and a goalkeeper. Yeah, I think the goalkeeper in particular. Sometimes, I don't know if this sounds harsh, but sometimes I just watch United purely to see how Onana's gonna screw up, because I know it's gonna be funny. Like watching Onana in goal sometimes is better than watching a comedy show. But like realistically speaking, I think Mr. Default's giving a list of players here in a bit who he would get rid of. Matthew says, really sorry to see Lucho go, but everyone I talked to just looked at money. Not sad. Not Diaz leaving, I'm sad. No, I get where you're coming from. I'm from a more human perspective, I guess we could say. Diaz kind of always gave it his all. Was never lazy. Could play on the left, could play on the middle, and sometimes players complain when they're played out of position, but Diaz never seemed to complain. He'd always kind of do his best with kind of what he was given. So from that perspective, I will miss him, but equally like I'm kind of happy for him, weirdly, in a sense, because I think at Liverpool, like, he wasn't really getting paid, I think, what a player of his ability deserved. So now he's gonna, I don't want to say get the bag. He's going to be compensated as per his skills. So he's gonna get paid a lot more. And I know money's not the only thing, but from Diaz's perspective, it's his last contract. Bayern Munich are a good team as well, massive team, Champions League team. I guess he'll be linking up with Harry Kane, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, crossing to Harry Kane might be a bit nicer than crossing to Nunes. And yeah, like, I wish him well. Like, typically when players leave, I either don't care or I wish them bad. Like, I wish they do terribly. But with Diaz, he's one of the few. I'm like, you know what? I wish he does. I wish he does really good. Mr. Defoe would have preferred him at Barcelona. Is that Diaz? Is that Diaz at Barcelona? Oh, right, because then Rashford would not have gone, and you would have you would have had to get money for Rashford. So these are the players that Mr. Default will get rid of. Højlund, we can maybe take each of these one by one. Yeah, Højlund hasn't really worked out. Pretty expensive from a price perspective. I think it came from Atlanta. Yeah, like Højlund, would you take like 30-40 million, something like that? Maybe 40ish, because he is still quite young. Yeah, I think Casemiro is the next one, 100%. 70 million quid, 350 grand a week. You'd probably take what you can get. Anthony, yeah, I think Anthony's loan, to a certain degree, would maybe like increase his value, because it showed that he's still got something to offer. So Anthony, I hear you. Yeah, Garnacho. Amarim does not seem to like him. So makes sense. Sancho, yeah. There was something about Sancho going to Juventus for like 15 million. I haven't seen much on that recently. Onana, 100%. Onana is awful. It's just the fact that he just doesn't dive at his near post, and I just find that so odd. Diogo Dalot, I thought Dalot was alright. I thought Dalot was like solid, like, you know, not the best thing since sliced bread, but pretty decent. I always thought. Malacia, yeah, there's probably more competition at the left back spot now because I think they've got Luke Shaw, and they've also got that new one. Is it Dogu? So I think yeah, it makes sense. Get rid of Malacia. Diaz is a good player. I think he'll cook in Germany. Yeah, I think he'll do really well there. Matthew says, end of last season, you just saw Lucho's passion for winning the title. In my opinion, yeah, you can never discredit his passion or discredit his effort. So yeah, like I will miss him, and he feels like one of those players as well. Like sometimes you get these players who you only kind of miss them once they're gone. So I think Diaz probably falls into that bucket. Mr. Default was watching an Everton realistic rebuild the other day, and someone had Yamal at Everton, as in Lamine Yamal from Barcelona at Everton. What? I thought this was realistic. That's not even like That's not even unrealistic. It's just nonsense. Like unrealistic would be, I don't know, like Lewandowski he's getting on a bit. Maybe he wants to give it a go in the Premier League, but like there is no chance that they're signing Yamal. I hope it was a tongue-in-cheek thing, because otherwise I'd be concerned for that person's well-being. You said it's realistic. It's been 5 years. Yeah, it's. I couldn't think of anything more unrealistic. Like if you said, name the most unrealistic player to go to Everton, I'd probably who isn't like a rival, like a Liverpool player or something. Who would you say? You'd probably say Yamal. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Mr. Default says, yeah, he's okay, but not going to compete with trophies for okay players. Fair enough, makes sense. There's a player down on the pitch. Who is the player? I have no idea. But there's a player down on the pitch. Mr. Default says, what match are you watching? England versus Spain, women's final. It's the first time I watched a women's game. It's been like the start was quite good. Spain did like some like a nice bit of passing, nice cross, nice goal. But since then, it's kind of slowed down a bit. Now it's a lot slower than it was at the start, which I understand because it's been an hour and a half. And the trouble is, when it slows down to this degree and you just don't know who any of the players are, it doesn't really help matters. You start wishing someone could just score and the match would be over. That's pretty much where I am right now. Here's a Spanish cross. And nothing happened. I'm just reading names off the back of the shirts and pretending I know who it is. So it's Hemp. Hemp is a right back. This has got playing for penalties written all over it, which is why I just end up scrolling on Twitter. I forgot about that. Diaz would also be playing with Olise. Liverpool have had a bid accepted from Salford City for Will Wright. 17-year-old striker is wanted by a host of clubs. Arsenal also had a bid accepted, but Liverpool are back in the race. Liverpool are confident of signing Wright. How much is the bid? I'll be honest, don't know much about him. But if we're getting a player and Arsenal are not, then it's a good day. Jarrell Kwanzaa playing for Leverkusen, good for him. Although we really need to replace him. People talking about Rodrigo to Liverpool. I can't see that happening. Oh god, another 15 minutes. Durwood does not want Madrid's rejects. I hear ya. Rodrigo's one that I can't really get particularly enthusiastic about. Especially, I think some of the things he said about Liverpool in the past, have not been the nicest things. So I think if Isak's available and Newcastle are willing to play ball, then we should explore that. But yeah, I wouldn't want Rodrigo. He can hang out with 66, as far as I'm concerned. Fish says hi. Hello, Fish. Still here, waiting for this game to finish. I made a decision to watch this. Now I have to stick with it. If it seemed like a good idea in the morning. It seemed like a very good idea in the morning. Fish is sleeping. It's probably a good plan. This match has slowed down a lot. But to be fair, Spain still with the nice bit of passing, nice little move, but then they ruin it. They play like Ben Doak. They do the hard bits, and then they finish it off with a terrible pass, and then nothing happens. Is that penalty? I don't think so because they're not really protesting like they would protest if it was a penalty. Yeah, nothing happened. Two minutes of stoppage time, and then we're on to the last half, thankfully. Kunal says, a random question, what's the purpose of your life? The purpose of my life is to try and stay awake before this game ends. Currently, it's proving very difficult. If I can stay awake before this game ends, I will feel fulfilled. And I will feel like I've accomplished all I need to accomplish. Fish is going to sleep in Tesco. What's your obsession with Tesco? And why Tesco of all the shops? I mean, Tesco's fine and all, but you do mention Tesco a lot. What is it about Tesco? Tesco over Aldi? Tesco over Asda? Tesco seems to be your favourite. And how are you going to sleep in Tesco on a Sunday? Does it not close early on a Sunday? My Tesco's probably closed at the moment, but I don't know if yours is. So that's the first half of extra time done. 15 more minutes of pain. Oof. They should just go to penalties like straight after 90 minutes. Yeah, more on this Will Wright guy who I'll admit I've never seen before. But if Liverpool are buying him, then he's amazing. Apparently, Gerald Kwanzaa did very well. Good for him, mate. Good for him. Fish says, how English ladies. It's still 1-1, mate. It's still 1-1. They're doing okay. You could certainly make the argument that they were perhaps kind of lucky to get back into the game, but you make your own luck. Some fan with a sign that said FSG outstanding. Fish says brie brie bikus dikus. That's that pigeon type thing, isn't it? Fish says English ladies are hot. I will let them know. I will let them know that that's what you think. Free kick to Spain. It is on Spain's right hand side. Looks like they're going to cross it in. Let's see what they can do with this. Hopefully something. Come on, Spain. Or England. Anybody. God, what a terrible free kick. Fish says Google shake it to the max. What is that? I'm not going to put it on the screen. It's a song, apparently. It's a song by Ghanaian American singer Molly and Jamaican producer Silent Addy. Is that your favorite song? Is that what we're looking at here? Oh, I haven't reset the timer. Set the timer back. Of course, when I want to set the timer, then they take the timer off the screen, and then it makes my life so much more difficult. Spain with a cross. Fish is saying, come on, ladies. Is that England? I presume it's England. Or it could be Spain. Crossed in. Oh! Spain should have probably really scored there. Crossed it in. Ball kind of bounced around. Player had a shot from about a meter away and just kind of Mishit it. Number 18 for Spain, whoever that is. Yeah, just completely missed the ball. Newcastle United management reached out to Alexander Isak not once, but twice, asking him to join the squad for the upcoming tour next week in the Far East. This comes after he turned down the chance to play in Singapore. The first request came on Friday evening, and let's just say his response was pretty blunt. It's clear he's got his reasons for not wanting to go. He's been told that the Liverpool bid is imminent. Yeah. I'm starting to think this is gonna happen. I was gonna say what number will he take, but I think that's probably preempting things a bit too much. Fish says, how good was Danny Ward for us? He didn't really get a chance. There was a rumor that he would become like the first team player or the first team goalkeeper around the time when we had Karius and Mignolet, and kind of neither of those were looking particularly good. So around the time, Spain are through, they should really do something here, and they hit it over the bar. So around the time when Liverpool had Karius and around the time they had Mignolet, and neither one of those was looking particularly good, there were some rumours that Danny Ward was going to take over as number one. And this was also around the time that Liverpool were interested in Alisson. So I remember there was a news story. I think it was a James Pearce news story where he said Liverpool are not going to go for Alisson. They're going to promote Danny Ward instead. But then that didn't end up happening. Liverpool ended up signing Alisson. And then I think Danny Ward ended up going to Leicester or somewhere. Fish says, is Endo like Minamino? Not really. Different positions. Endo, they're both Japanese, but Endo, defensive midfielder, can play centre back at certain times. Whereas Minamino more of an attacking midfielder, kind of forward type of player. Could play as number 10, could play on the wings. I guess could play as a false 9 if he really needs it. So no, different types of players. Endo more defensive, whereas Minamino was more of a kind of forward-thinking player. Durwood says that the Newcastle fans better cheer for Isak and not talk bad about him. Some of them were loud about the way 66 got treated. I forgot about that, but you are right. You are right. And I think the difference within this particular case as well, they're going to get 120 million, so that's 130 million. So that should soften the blow, I think, to a certain degree, compared with the 66 situation where 66 kind of just sat on his contract and then went on a free. So not to sound biased, but I think Liverpool had more of a reason to boo 66 than Newcastle would have to boo Isak. Ben says, are we getting the Isak deal done this week? I think so. starting to believe it. I'm starting to believe it's a possibility. I've gone from kind of 50% likely to now thinking kind of 60 to 70% likely. If you see this one here, it looks like Isak is basically refusing to join the squad. There was also something from Eddie Howe earlier where Eddie Howe was asked, is Isak going to join you guys? And he was like, no. So it looks like this is going to pick up a bit of speed now. Employed Microwave, I think, says Classic still calling him 66, yeah. He also says, Wi-Fi annoy you by constantly saying Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's okay. I'll just I've programmed myself to say 66 most of the time. So if I accidentally say, I'll say it here. If I accidentally say Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'll be more annoyed at myself than I will at you. So it's okay. David says if he doesn't leave, he will next season. Yeah, I think that's the danger of the situation to a certain degree, because next year Isak will only have 2 years left on his contract. So I think that would increase the urgency with which they'd want to do a deal now. Employed Microwave says winning against Oldham isn't for everyone, mate. Up the Bantams, which I believe is Bradford, which we googled the other day. I'm still quite impressed I got that in 2 guesses, but Employed Microwave was not very happy. I was like, that's pretty good. He was like, no, you're cheating, you're googling it. Fish says, how good was Connor Cody? Not great for Liverpool. Like, I appreciate he came through the youth ranks, but equally, like, he wasn't playing in the best Liverpool team, but not great. I don't think. Arthur, worse. I think he played maybe about 5 minutes of football, if that. But Coutinho was amazing, especially towards the end. Ben says, what number do you think Isak will have at Liverpool? Are we at that point? I like that we're at that point, though. The thing is, the 2 possibilities, or should I say 2 of the most likely possibilities, are 9 and 14. And both of those players could go. So number 9, Nunes could go. 14, Chiesa could go. If I had to guess, I'd say Nunes will go and he'll get the number 9. %. Yeah. Is it 66% likely that Isak will join? Is that the percentage? Fish says, what about Nat? Is that Nat Phillips? I can't lie. In that season where Liverpool lost all their defenders, he was pretty amazing. To the point where I'd kind of hoped he would play a role the following season, but he never did. I appreciate he wasn't the fancy kind of ball playing type of defender, but I always thought I always thought he was a solid kind of old school defender. So it's a bit disappointing that he didn't really get a chance kind of once the senior players came back. Employed Microwave says you can't call him 66 anymore. He wears the number 12. Yeah, that's kind of what makes it funny. It's just he will forever be 66. It just sounds like really offensive for some reason, just to call someone 66. I don't know why. It just sounds really rude, which is kind of why we do it. It just feels like you're insulting someone. like 12. Like you call someone 12, it's like it doesn't really have like much of a ring to it. But I think if you call someone 66, then that's it nicely encapsulates the disdain that many people have. David wants James Milner back. James Milner is a machine. He must be kind of close to 40 at this point, and he still looks like he was carved out of stone. And he's still kind of, his fitness is still up there. Yeah, imagine him and Endo. Nobody's getting the ball then. They would just tire everyone out. That would be like an even better way as well, just to kind of sign off a game. Just bring on Endo and bring on Milner. And then John McGinn in the middle of them. Yeah, nobody's getting the ball off any of those guys. Employed Microwave was born and raised in Bradford. Very nice. What's your favorite thing about Bradford? I don't think I've ever been to Bradford. But if you had to pick one thing, what would you pick? Ben thinks Isak will get number 14 from Chiesa and Ekatike number 9 because of Darwin. Yeah, that could happen. That could happen as well. So then would we say kind of Liverpool's attacking options then would be Salah, Gakpo, Ekatike and Isak, and Rio for kind of backup. Would people be happy with that? I think looking at that a bit deeper, I think Szoboszlai can play in the attack if you really need. I think Frimpong can play on the right wing. Penalties. Thank the Lord. This game is almost over. Isak, striker. You play Ekatike on the wing. I've actually not seen too much. Like quite a few people have said this. Like, have you seen much of Ekatike on the wing? But just because like quite a few people have seen it, have been saying that something. Okay, he must be quite good on the wing. Like I always kind of imagined him as like a central striker, but quite a few people have said I've mentioned he can play quite well on the wing. Is that on the left wing or the right wing or both? Or okay. Ekatike on the left wing versus Tottenham where he scored that goal. Interesting. So does that suggest then that does that mean Ekatike could be the Diaz replacement and Isak is the Nunes replacement? Maybe. Penalties coming up. Ben says Ekatike to replace Diaz and Isak to replace Darwin. I mean, if you put it that way, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, I'll need to look into a bit more into kind of Ekatike on the wing. Of what I've seen of him, he looked a lot more central. But a lot of people have been saying, yourself included, that he's quite good on the wing. Ben says we got Gakpo though. True. I guess we've got strength in depth. Good options on the bench. So hopefully having kind of good players on the pitch and also having good players on the bench would increase the likelihood to challenge for multiple trophies, which is what I think we should be aiming for at this point. They're doing the coin toss. I think England have won the coin toss. I'm excited to see these penalties. Ben says that Frimpong should replace Salah on the right wing position because Frimpong doesn't defend. He's an option on the right wing. I definitely think he's an option on the right wing. I mean, he can play right back and right wing. So I don't know. Maybe against teams who sit deep and kind of play a low block. Maybe you put Frimpong at right back because there's less need for him to defend there. Whereas maybe if there's a greater need to defend, maybe Conor Bradley plays instead. I guess that's the good thing about having multiple options. Penalty starting then. I did not think I'd be here for almost 3 hours, but that's life sometimes. England taking the first penalty. She slips over, but she scores. Not the best penalty because she kind of slipped as she was taking it, but it went in, which is what matters. 1-0. It was Mead who took the first one. Oh, they're reviewing the penalty kick because it was irregular. Oh, they made her retake. They made her retake the penalty, and then she missed the second one. What is that about? I mean, it was the penalty was terrible, but why did they make her retake it? Apparently, it was a double hit. I mean, really, that feels a bit unfair to make her retake that. To be fair. Spain score their penalty right down the middle. So 1-0 to Spain, I guess, from a penalty perspective. That feels harsh that they made her retake that. I can't lie. I cannot lie. So England taking their second penalty now. It's currently 1-0 Spain. This is Greenwood. Oh, just about scored. Keeper was very close to getting that, but if it goes in, that's all that matters. I'm waiting for some sort of amazing penalty. I haven't seen like an amazing penalty kick, but I got a feeling we're gonna see one. What a terrible... These penalties are terrible. That was, again, awful penalty. So at least it's 1-1 now. What was that? Did these like not practice penalties? Every penalty so far has not been great. But I've got confidence we will see at least one amazing penalty. Maybe she's going to do it. Number 3 for England. It was decent. Decent penalty. Sent the keeper the wrong way. And it went in. That's all that matters. So England are ahead now. 2-1 up. But Spain are taking the leftover penalty, if that makes sense. Spain miss again. So England 2-1 up. Ben says, should I get the new Liverpool kit on August 1st or wait for Isak to sign for Liverpool and then get? It depends if you want to get a name on it and if you want to get Isak on it. Like if getting Isak on it is something that you're interested in, then I'd maybe wait. But if you don't want a name on it, or if you want, I don't know, McAllister, then yeah, get it on the first. So England 2-1 up, and now they've got an opportunity to go 3-1 up. Come on, I hope she does a really good penalty. Like, I want to see like at least one amazing penalty. Oh, that was terrible! These penalties are atrocious. Like I'm willing and wanting them to do a really good penalty, but these penalties are god awful. Will the kids run out at the Anfield store, as in the physical store that's in Anfield? Probably not. You'll be okay. And even if they do run out, like they'll get stock again really quick. Fish says this is boring. Welcome to the last 3 hours of my life. Go on, Spain. Oh, another atrocious penalty. Oh, God. Have England won? I think if England score one more, then they've won it. Do you think Isak will sign this week or not? Maybe week after. It wouldn't surprise me if it was this week, to be fair. So England got a chance to win it. Go on, please do like an amazing penalty. Please like put it right in the corner. Both good. I'd probably just about give it to Messi, but both very good. She's got a chance to win it here for L'Angleterre. What was that run up? But it doesn't matter because she scored. Are they going to do some like silly... Ben says Ronaldo better. Fair enough. England have won. Fantastic. That was fun. Is Connor Cody a traitor? Um, he didn't feel like. It didn't really feel like too much of a traitorous thing for him to go to Everton. But like when he was at Everton, the amount he was celebrating at Liverpool when Liverpool conceded was a bit annoying. Ben's gotta go somewhere. Take care, Ben. I'm probably gonna go in 2 minutes anyway. Match is over now. Um, but I will be back. We'll be back on Wednesday probably. But yeah, England win the game. So England win this game. I don't even know what the score was. On penalties. Ben says, see you, bro. Love your live streams. Appreciate that, Ben. Take care. I'm going to go now because this game is done. But yeah, have a nice rest of the weekend, Ben. Take care. Take care. Bye, Ben. Bye, Fish. Malusi says, I hope the England men are watching because that's how you beat Spain. Yeah, they can certainly learn a few lessons from that. Fair enough. I mean, they got the job done. Even when they went down, their heads didn't go down. They kind of stayed in the game. They got a goal back. They didn't really look too scared. But yeah. You two, Durwood, have a great afternoon. See you soon. Malusi says, wait, I just got here. Malusi, I've been here for 3 hours. I'm hungry. I am so hungry at the moment. I last ate 5 hours ago, but I will be back in a few days. Take care, Malusi. Take care, guys. See you soon.